All right, guys, I am walking here in downtown Lakeland to make this video, and it's like probably 10:30 at night, so things have died down out here a little bit. I'm choosing to do it this way tonight because, well, I wanted to get a video made, but I didn't want to make it at home when everybody else is there. I didn't want to make it in my car again because I did that 2 or 3 times this week already, or at least in the past few days. So I've been kind of itching to do a walk and talk, so this was my choice. It's kind of calm, quiet, and very pretty in downtown Lakeland. Let me show you this artwork here. Sweet tarts are my favorite candy, but somebody made this sculpture here. It looks like these ants are carrying a tube of street tarts. The ants are, well, I guess they're made of propane tanks. I like that. That's one of my more favorite ones they've had down here, and they've had a lot of really good ones. Anyway, so yeah, tonight I want to talk about the 100-year diet. But before I do that, let me just kind of give you a recap of the end of my day. I worked a little bit later tonight, and I always go pick up my wife after work from her work, and she works in a different town. So it takes me a little bit of time to get there and time to get back. But being that we're already out later, we were kind of concerned about what we're going to do for dinner. So on the way home, she tells me, I went ahead and ordered Little Caesars pizza. Okay, Little Caesars pizza, cheap pizza, right? Whatever. Wasn't that excited about it. But when I served myself up a plate of pizza and ate it, I went out there and told my wife, I said, I forgot how good Little Caesars is. I've always preferred Hungry Howies. Pizza Hut was okay when I was much younger, but it's not my favorite. I'd actually rather have frozen pizza. Now, I'm not a big eater, so I'll fill my plate up once, and I don't go back for seconds, except on rare occasions. The rare occasion would have to be I'm eating something that's enormously good, and I have to feel like it'll be a long time before I ever get that again. That's one exception. The other is if I'm eating at somebody else's house and they've gone to great pain to make something and they keep trying to push food in front of me, I'm not gonna not eat it. I don't want to be impolite. So I do practice intermittent fasting, and I do try to regulate my portions. However, I am not a dieter. Never have been, never will be. Even if a doctor tells me you need to be on a diet, I probably, well, I guess how much time do I have? Because I've seen people struggle with diets my whole entire life, and I think it's futile. It's just ridiculous. People are miserable on them. They can't sustain them. And the people that do are annoying. I mean, they're really, really annoying. People who meal prep, they frustrate me. They'll just frustrate me. Meal prepping, okay, no, forget that. Not doing it. Yeah, I do like the option of knowing I can mix it up. I don't like being locked down. However, there is this 100-year diet that I mentioned before. And the only way I came across this was there's a comedian on Instagram. His handle is therealdustinanderson. And I would put this video up on the screen, but I'm afraid there might be some infringement, things to go with that. And I don't want to get in trouble. I don't want to get demonetized. So I'll just avoid that by not putting it on here and try to tell you what he said. Now, I'm not going to be as funny as he is. I will leave a link to this video in the description. But here's what he was talking about. He says he has this theory about the 100-year diet. He's real mild-mannered, soft-spoken, and dry. Yeah, I might have 7 to 15 years left. So whenever I want to eat something, let's say it's a cheeseburger, I ask myself, if I eat this, will I be more dead in 100 years or less dead? If I'm going to be more dead, well, then I won't eat it. But if I'm going to be less dead, I probably will. The way I see it, I haven't seen much of a difference either way. And I think that's pretty funny. But he even went on to say, he goes, this doesn't just apply to diets. This applies to everything. So he is making somewhat of a philosophical point. And I think he's really hit on something good. And it's not the first time someone has said something like this. How many times have we heard someone say, listen, if something's bothering you, really getting under your skin, if you're really stressed out, ask yourself, some facsimile thereof. Just ask yourself, will this matter in 5 years? That's generally how we hear this. Except this guy ups the ante. What will you think of it in 100 years? And so I thought about this all day today. 100 years is a great number because it's the ultimate leveling of the playing field. There isn't going to be a one of us here. In 5 years, there's going to be a lot of us still around, right? But in 100 years, nobody here right now is going to have anything over on anybody else. It's just a thought. I think it's extremely helpful. So, do you diet? Because I never will. I like to fast. I don't like to fast, but I think it's a whole lot better than dieting and a whole lot healthier. And fasting also makes you, here I am, it sounds like I'm making a video about fasting, but I'll be honest with you, fasting for extended periods of time changes your palate and you automatically start wanting food that's healthy for you. You don't even have to think about it. It's just that way, it's just the way it works. So, anyway, I did want to mention this though. 2 people that have died this week. A little surprising and very close to my age. Malcolm and Jamal Warner. I mean, that was just like today I heard about this. This is Monday night when I'm making this, by the way. So, yeah, the guy who played Theo on The Cosby Show, everybody loves Theo, right? But I guess he drowned in the waters off Costa Rica, got caught up by a current or something. I'm not real sure, I'm not completely sure about the details, but yeah, he did drown. That's that much I know. They found his body. That is sad. I mean, so young. Well, maybe not so young to some people, but really, he's not old. We're not old. And then, did you hear about Felix Bombgardner? Yeah. So, Felix Bombgardner, he is a daredevil, a skydiver, and an adventurer. You might remember him when, I think it was, let me pull this article back out. Felix Bombgardner, 56, professional daredevil, dies while paragliding. There's a picture of him. That looks familiar to you? Yeah. Felix Bombgardner, the Austrian extreme adventurer who hurtled to Earth from more than 24 miles high in 2012 and became the first human to break the sound barrier while free falling, died on Thursday in a paragliding accident along the Adriatic coast in Italy. He was 56. His death was confirmed by Red Bull, the energy drink company that sponsored him, as well as by the Italian authorities. Mr. Baumgartner crashed to the ground a few yards from a swimming pool in the town of, I'm going to butcher this, Porto San Elpidio? I don't know, the mayor said on Friday. He said that Mr. Baumgartner had become ill during his flight and had lost consciousness by the time of impact in a part of town popular among tourists. An autopsy was to be performed. So, yeah, it says down further, it says hours before his death, Mr. Baumgardner posted a photograph on Instagram showing gray, cloudy skies and a billowing windsock with the words, "Too much wind." Mayor, I don't know how you say this, Ciarpola, I don't know, called Mr. Baumgardner a figure of global prominence, a symbol of courage and passion for extreme flight. Mr. Baumgardner was known as Fearless Felix and sported a tattoo that said, "Born to Fly," but like others who have made careers of extreme quest, he balanced an adventuresome spirit with a realization of danger and the near inevitability of harm. So there you go. Do you remember when he went to the edge of space and fell to the earth? He lost consciousness then too, briefly. And he was just, remember him just tumbling? I watched that live. He became a sensation, an icon. And he was talked about for a long, long time. I didn't know we were roughly the same age. But yeah, another life taken too soon. I mean, really the paragliding, I don't know much about paragliding, but it's probably one of the safer things he's probably done. But he was just ill, lost consciousness. You never know when your time is up. Which, let's go back to my original point. Given a great span of time, if you could look back from eternity, or just maybe not even from eternity, from 100 years from now, if you make it. Well, I won't, but, well, you probably won't either, but 50 years, let's say 50 years, 30 years. Will you look back and be glad that you spent yourself emotionally over other people who were just getting under your skin, under finances that you had a hard time getting control of, over dissatisfaction with your job or the place that you lived? Does it really matter that much? I'm not saying that none of this stuff matters. I'm not saying that we shouldn't strive to do better or improve our circumstances, but I mean, let's put a frame around it and ask ourselves a few questions like this and let it make a difference, because it could calm us down and make us feel a little bit better about our circumstances and make you realize that you don't have to try so hard. You don't have to explain to everybody. You don't have to endlessly apologize for how you feel or why you do what you do. Let people think what they want. And sometimes you'll find out that letting circumstances play themselves out does take care of things. But we fret and we fuss and we stress and we break down and we have heart attacks and aneurysms and hernias and all this stuff that could be related to stress, right? Could be. But maybe we could stress a little bit less if we could just get a grip on it by thinking about stuff like I've talked about tonight. All right, well, I hope it's helped. I'm not going to do a word of the day or a quote of the day. Doesn't seem like it would fit. I wanted to keep this kind of short. I hope I have. Oh, no, I haven't. It's over 15 minutes long. All right, maybe I can pare it down a little bit. But then again, maybe not. I mean, does it really matter? In 100 years, will anybody care about my editing skills or whether I talked too much? Okay. All right. I'm gonna go home and go to bed. Hope you guys have a great night. I'll see you in the next one.